Stats SA has shaken up the basket of goods and services used to measure consumer inflation. The products in the basket are changed about every 5 years to better reflect shifts and trends in consumer spending. Product weights are also adjusted. These changes are mainly based on data from the 2022-23 Income and Expenditure Survey. I'll first discuss some of the interesting changes to the CPI basket. The facelift includes the addition of 71 new products, the removal of 53 products, and the reorganization of about 29 products. In total, there are now 391 products in the basket, down from 396. New food products that were added to the basket include basmati rice, meat bones, meat patties, chicken nuggets, and ready-made meals. Items that were removed include ready-mixed flour, flavored milk, frozen potato chips, and ground coffee or coffee beans. The new basket expands the coverage of education-related items. In the clothing category, Stats SA will now price a range of school uniform items. School transport services and after-school centres are also included. It will now also be possible to track education inflation separately for private and public schools and for universities. Creches and stationery items remain. Load shedding may have had an impact. Gas in cylinders and candles are incorporated in the new basket. Municipal services are expanded to include refuse collection and sewage removal. Household items that were removed include the toaster sandwich maker, household batteries, and wax shoe polish. There are several additions to the services in the health basket, including clinic services, orthopedic surgeons, optometrists, spectacles, physiotherapists, inpatient or long-term care centres, and pathology services. The basket no longer has public sector health services such as public sector general practitioners or specialists. The rise in e-hailing services ensured its inclusion as a new item. School transport services, as I mentioned earlier, are also added to the transport category. Driving licenses and post office box rentals no longer make the cut. New technology products are included. Streaming services, modems and routers, external USB hard drives, power banks, and charging cables will now be tracked by the CPI. Landline telephone fees and satellite TV decoders will no longer be part of the basket. While toy building bricks are included in the recreation category, several products were dropped. Teddy bears, for example, are no longer with us. Digital cameras, musical instruments, television licenses, and magazines were all removed. After-school centres, membership fees for professional associations and trade unions, and hiring of equipment for events are added in the personal care and miscellaneous services category. Personal care products that were removed include toothbrushes, tissues, hair relaxer and colour, and non-electrical shavers. Now let's discuss the changes to the weighting structure of the CPI. Each product in the CPI basket has a weight attached to it that determines its relative importance when calculating the headline inflation rate. A product's weight represents its contribution to total household expenditure expressed as a percentage. A larger weight has more impact on the determination of the headline rate. The highest weight category in the CPI is housing and utilities. This includes municipal services, levies for sectional title complexes, actual rents paid by tenants, and owner's equivalent rent. The new weight is 24.1%, slightly down from the 24.5% in the 2019 weights. The share for actual rentals increases to 4.4% from 3.5%, while owner's equivalent rent drops to 11.2% from 13%. Electricity charges decrease to 3.4% from 3.6%. The weight for food and non-alcoholic beverages increases to 18.2% from 17.1%. This means that South Africans are spending proportionately more on food products than they did in 2019. Cereal products, which include staples such as maize meal and bread, increases to 4.1% from 3.2%. The weight for meat decreases slightly to 5.1% from 5.4%. Transport declines to 13.9% from 14.4%. The biggest reason for this is a decline in the weight for fuel that shrank to 3.9% from 4.8%. However, the weight for passenger transport services increases to 2.9%. Despite the overall decline, the transport category has the third highest weight in the basket. Consumers in South Africa are spending proportionately more on telecommunication services, which includes all cell phone data and calls, as well as internet services. The weight for information and communication category increases to 5.5%. Stats SA will release inflation data based on the new basket in the January 2025 release. This will be published on the 19th of February 2025. For more information on the CPI weights, please visit our website at www.statsa.gov.za.